All right, ready. I'm gonna make I guess this is part 4 of my TRD off-road 2022 Toyota Tacoma mods. I mentioned in a previous video that I had ordered the TRD Pro grill. I installed that, and I just recently put the lights in. So as I'm explaining how that went, I'm gonna turn around and show you how it looks. So there we go. I think it turned out awesome. I toyed around with the ideas. I actually moved the lights around a little bit. I was going to go with 3, and I moved it to 4, and then I had them close together, and I spread them out, and this is actually, I like this the best. So as you can see, I got my 4-way. I got my hazards on right now. You can see the turn signal LEDs. I installed the smoked with the smoked lenses. They look awesome. I already had the LED light package, and like I said, just put in the TRD Pro grill with the Raptor lights. And one of the things I ran into that was an issue is when I got the grill, I didn't have this little glass or plastic protector plate for the radar cruise control. Has a fancy acronym, but I can't remember what it is. Anyway, finally got that in. Just put the lights in 2 days ago. And a couple little things that I want to mention, let me put it back around, about the install that there are a million videos out there you can watch. But a few of the things, important things, I feel like were glossed over. And I'm going to touch on those now. First off, I like the lights to just be on when I start the vehicle, so I tapped into the fuel injectors. It's a fuse, I forget the number, but it's INJ. Plenty of videos on it. And basically what I did was I did an add a circuit. So that was a 10 amp circuit fuse for the injectors, and you basically buy add a circuit, which allows you to piggyback another circuit on that one. And that's what I'm going to more elaborate on now. I originally bought an added circuit using these larger, I didn't even look in the truck to see what size the fuses are. These are the largest fuses that you can buy. The truck uses minis. So if you buy an added circuit, you got to get one that says mini. And another thing, imagine the added circuit, I already installed it, and I'm not going to lift the hood, and I just don't care enough. If you're going to do this, you should be competent enough to understand what I'm saying without me having to walk you through the whole steps. But imagine the added circuit is laying just like this, and then on top, where my index finger, that's where the 2 slots are to add the 2 fuses. Now to the far outside, right here, I can't do it, but the outside edge away from the prongs, that is where you place the fuse for the lights. And then the one closest to the prongs, that's where you would add the fuse for the whatever you're going to piggyback off, the injectors or the lights themselves. You don't want to flip those, and it's a 5 amp fuse is adequate, more than adequate for these little lights. And then it's a 10 amp fuse to run the injectors. So a couple little things to think about that kind of are glossed over when you watch these videos. They don't really go into detail on that. So get a mini add a circuit, and they make micros, but they're too small. So get a mini. Make sure that the 5 amp is on the further side away from the prongs, and then just piggyback the existing fuse right next to it. Another thing I did, I went in, there's plenty of videos on how to not pinch the hot wire. So basically wherever your wires come into the box, there's a little latch that pops and what releases them. You can pull them up, and there's a little door on the side of the fuse box. You can pop that little door open, and you can fish your wires in. Real simple. And another thing, don't crimp like most of these addifuses, you can just crimp them. Typically, the gauge wire that they give you with the addifuse is much bigger than the wire that comes with these lights. So when you crimp them, they might hold a little bit, but they need to be super tight. So what I suggest is cutting that crimp off, exposing, you know, like a little over about a ½ inch of the wire. Cut the insulation off of the wires going to the lights, and make a nice little tight little bond. And obviously before you do that, put a little piece of shrink wrap tubing on one end, slide it over, and then heat it, and that'll hold that bond much better than a crimp will. I did the same thing with my ground wire. I just got I got a little ground post, cut the insulation, and crimped it, because that's the only way you can do it. But then I shrink wrapped it too, just to hold that, give that extra hold. And I just zip tied everything in there nice and tight. Left it in places where I can get to it if I need to. But yeah, I think I've covered pretty much all the little nuances that I faced when I was putting them on. But again, it's your preference. Another question was, a lot of people ask this, can I just hook them to the running lights? Well, the running lights on this truck are more, you got to set the regular lights to auto. So there's not a dedicated fuse for running lights. There's a dedicated fuse for lights. So you can hook them to your lights so that when you turn the lights on, they'll come on. But I didn't want to have to think about it. Plus, I just think they look cool running down the road. And the only way I could get them to run down the road with just the running lights on is to hook them to the injectors. Now, there might be another way, but I mean, this works perfect for me. So I'm gonna flip it back around again. So again, yep, truck is almost done. I'm still waiting on I'm actually going to transfer some plates over. We have here in Virginia, we got the Don't Tread on Me. They're like well, you can see them. Let me flip them, come around to the back. It's a cool, like, I'd like to say it's yellow, but it's almost like a goldish yellow. So those are the Virginia tags. Waiting on those to come from a truck. So the last thing I think I want to do with this beast is to do the rear lights, LED smoked, and I think that's pretty much it. Anything else would just be overkill in my opinion. I like the wheels and tires, flat black. Everything is blacked out now. Got the tinted windows. Obviously the fogged and LED turn signals on my mirrors. And obviously I think I'll figure out something to do with this like chrome band around the LED headlights. Not a big fan of that. But yeah, very happy with it. And thank you for watching. And I'm also later, I'm getting ready to head to the gym now, but when I get back, I'm going to continue with the series I'm doing on building a farm style fence in the backyard to keep my dogs from running a path around my house. It's crazy, the stuff you got to deal with. Anyway, thanks for watching. Later.